we go again.
So what up, though, man?
Shoot, what we got on deck, bro?
Yeah,
So
so
much to talk about.
so much to talk about. And listen, um, let's get into these playoffs, so bro. First, let's tackle these playoffs, so right?
All right.
'Cause I am kind of curious on, since we last got on, OKC unfortunately has been eliminated.
Yeah.
Dallas is on. First off, tell me what you think about that series to begin
Man, I did not I have not actually talked about this since it happened.
with. Okay.
Um I mean obviously I'm disappointed because, Oklahoma's my team, but I'm not disappointed with the Thunder as a whole. Like I think this was an incredible year, a year of uh you know upsets for people because nobody gave us a shot, nobody paid attention to us. Um, it got to a point where I just stopped listening to people talk about the Thunder because you can tell they've never watched a Thunder game, don't know the personnel, don't like just you just out here just making random statements and your go-to statements. Oh, they too young, they don't like as though we haven't played everybody in the NBA or we haven't had these matchup problems all year or that we haven't had adversity because we hadn't been in the playoffs. Like the playoffs we lost. You know what I'm saying? And I love what Shay had to say. Now, now that the niceness is out of the way, Tony Brothers was a part of the refereeing team of the game that we were eliminated on. And of course, he was the one that made the call that said Shay fouled what's his name in the corner. When the NBA's rule is if you touch the ball first and then your hand slides, then they wouldn't call that a foul. But they took it a step further by saying, oh, well, the ball never moved when he touched the ball. So that's why it wasn't deemed marginal contact. Now, mind you, the reason why I bring this up, it's not that I'm crying about the call. Again, I love what Shay said about it. Shay said at the end of the day, I should have never reached to foul him because I'm disciplined enough to know that I should have lived or died by the shot. We still had a timeout. We could have called timeout, then all of that. So let's get past that. The point I'm making is this particular series has been very physical. There have been a many of calls that weren't made of people ending up on the floor with all types of stuff happening. But at the end of the game, when the game is on the line, you all of a sudden is to the letter of the law about rules, which like I said, he touched the ball first. So all that to say, congratulations to the Mavericks. I still hate Luca. I like Kyrie. I hate Luca. Luca is over Thickums. He's my Tony Parker.
He's number one for you.
He's number one. Here's the thing. It's not he's not number one because of his play. I think Luca is phenomenal. I think he's one of the best players I've seen. I like his shooting capability, but when it comes to the rest of Luca, his crying is by far the worst I've ever seen. Like I said, worse than Thickums. Thickums, when I used to watch him, right? You would swear up and down he never thinks he fouls. And Luca is just if you don't call something for me or if you call something on me, it's an issue. It's always an issue. It doesn't matter what it is. It is always an issue. I mean, he literally got teched up in the beginning of the game, and then all of a sudden they ain't want to call no more techs on him because they was protecting the playoffs. That's the stuff I'm talking about. The inconsistencies on the calls. If you're not gonna call stuff in the game, then the call at the end of the game you shouldn't call. So all that to say, if he would have made the shot or missed it or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's my take. I'm not sitting up here saying that I think Oklahoma should have won. They had opportunities to win. You know what I'm saying? I'm just disappointed that they didn't win. But as far as Luca the player, I cannot stand him. He's a crybaby. But congrats to the team for real in real life. I like Jason Kidd. I like the adjustments he made. I like the drafts that they made to get themselves into this position. So I don't hate Dallas. I just absolutely hate Luca's attitude on the court.
This is so I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that Luca's good, but it's weird because I find myself rooting against him, and it's like I think the thing is this: what Luca is Luca, especially on defense. When it comes to the foul calls that they call on him, because if you watch, like out of all the foul calls, every other foul call on him, he's trying to tell them to review it because it feels like he thinks the only fouls that he makes are the ones he's willing to admit that he says, "Oh, these are the ones I did on purpose." So that's the thing I think it is. It's like, Doc, come on, bro. Like you seriously, we already know you don't play very good defense. So when they call you for fouls, like, bro, chalk that up as, yeah, we know you don't play defense. But I think the part that I think is still mind blowing when it comes to Luca is the when he thinks he's getting foul calls, because I think that what happens is that he initiates a lot of contact. He's bigger than most of the players guarding him, right? And so I think that what he'll end up doing, and this is the thing I think that's Luca will give up about 6 points a game just on him staying back and arguing with the referees for a few seconds. Other team that went down there the other end, they scored a fast break or got numbers on the fast break. And so I think that that's probably my thing with him. I'm like, bro, listen, you are too good. Like, I know that I know Luca has to be top 10 in the NBA for free throw attempts a game. And I think that that's pretty high considering, right? I'm pretty sure like Joel Embiid is up there, right? High up there because he's just bigger, right? I would think that somebody like uh Joker's up there. He's big and he has the ball a lot. I would think AD would be up there. If I'm just throwing in, Shea is also up there because I think that Shea gives you an efficient. He has the ball. He does a lot of things. I think that Shea doesn't shoot as many jump shots as Luca does, and so because of that, I think that he just has the opportunity to because he does a lot of driving, he gets to the paint a lot. But I think that when it comes to Luca, though, man, like he's real whiny though, bro. And I just be looking like, all right, bro, I want to appreciate the game. Like I want to appreciate everything that he does. But I think that the bro just be whining so much though, man, that I'm just like, nah, you too good for that. It reminds me of when James Harden, for like maybe the first 2 years that he really took off when he was with the Rockets, and he would just flop for these calls and argue with these calls. And I'm just thinking, and that's when I started hating James Harden. And so I was like, I want to root for Luca, but bro, you making it kind of hard for me to root for you though, bro, with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't get past the whining. And my thing is, I don't even have an issue with him drawing contact because my thing is Lou Dort takes on that responsibility of guarding the best players. And he had his up and down games with Luca, but you just got to learn how to guard these people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like how they ref Lou Dort. And the problem that I have, right, is that it felt like Lou Dort was all up in his and it was good, physical, clean defense, right? And what I don't like about how it's almost like you've already eliminated because you look at it on the first team all defense, it was all forwards and centers. The second team was all guards. Now I don't know where Lou Dort comes into play. I'd imagine that he would be third team all defense, whatever it is, though, right? So you've already basically reduced the impact of defensive players. So when somebody is playing clean, to me, I feel like it's a detriment to the game overall when you don't allow somebody to play good physical, clean defense. And I personally, like I thought that Lou Dort, because at that one point, I think I saw a stat that Luca was only averaging like 23 a game when Lou Dort was guarding him, right? And then I just thought that the NBA just looked and wanted Luca to do more, to be more of a superstar. And I think that they were calling fouls. They got Lou Dort out of the game so
Yeah,
early,
yeah.
bro. And I
You,
was like, Luca ain't doing that much, bro.
the worst part about it is when he would try to step over a screen and then they would try to call that.
Oh my God.
Hated
It's
that.
like, come on, man. But let me ask you this though.
Yeah,
Did you see the before we talk about the Nick the big the step up the Knicks Pacers?
I feel bad for the Knicks, bro. Here's the thing. I know you don't like the Knicks. I know you don't like them, but I'm talking about. I'm just objectively. I hate it for the Knicks because to me they didn't have a fair shot. I get it. Injuries are a part of the game, but they was falling like flies, bro. They were falling like flies. It got to a point where even what's his name had to leave the game because he had a fractured hand. Uh,
Yeah,
uh. So it's.
listen,
But I mean, who cares though? Like Boston is going to the finals. It doesn't even matter. It's a foregone conclusion. If I
I
was
think the
Chuck,
bad part about it is that they just, to me, what makes it look even crazier is that I think that Boston, I think that Boston has the easiest route to the finals that I've seen in quite some time, bro. Because you think about it, right? They faced just say in the East, right? Giannis was basically down the whole time, right? So Giannis was down, and then when Miami moved on, right? Dame didn't play in the last game. Then Jimmy Butler was down. Joel Embiid was down, right? And so then outside of Joel Embiid, when it comes to the Knicks, Jalen Brunson was down. Julius Randle was down. Mitchell Robinson was down. They,
OG, Ananobi.
Josh Hart, OG, and Josh Hart, they all went down. And so it's like, while some of those teams didn't go through the Knicks, I'm just saying that the Pacers was the only team that I know of that didn't have one of their key guys be injured. And now it's them. Not that I expected any more of the Knicks. I thought that, it means something that, well, damn, the Pacers, they at least are healthy. I think that they're look at it like this. I don't know if the Pacers are inexperienced because Therese Halliburton is the only person that's fairly young that they rely on, right? But I think that I listen. I think this is going to be another one of those years that Boston just gets there, but it's going to be a cakewalk. I think. So I think that it's interesting though because I tried to tell somebody the other day that I think that the West would be more battle tested, whoever comes out of it. So for me, I don't know. Should I pick Boston because to win the whole thing? Because they've had the least amount of resistance, and so they should be fresher, right? They've been washing everybody. Or should I pick the more battle tested team?
I don't know because Boston has had the best record all year. Like they've consistently looked like the best team in the NBA. So I understand what you're saying. Trust me, because I definitely think that Minnesota got a gang of confidence after playing Denver. So yeah,
Yo, here's the thing about the thing that's interesting about the Celtics. They've had the best record. And while they've had a winning record against the West, they don't have a winning record against the teams that are that were in the playoffs for the West. So they beat a bunch of teams in the West, but not the ones that were in the playoffs. I think they have a losing record. So I don't know. So to me, it's like I know Boston is good. I just don't know if I'm basing it off of the games, like I think that it means something that even if the Nuggets made it out, right? If the Nuggets made it out, I think that it would say something about the Nuggets that they beat a really good team versus Boston, who's getting in there, and they did what they're supposed to do. That's the beauty of being the number one seed. I just think that when you get there, though, bro, it's just one of them things where I don't know. Even now, I think that the Timberwolves, right? They faced stiffer. They beat the champ. So I got to pick them as a favorite to beat the Mavs. So, bro, just right off the cuff. And so even then, because they beat the champs, I'm inclined to believe that they'll beat Boston too. I think in 7 games, this is my thing. I don't think that the guard play that you have to double anybody. At least right now, who knows? Somebody get hot and they get on fire or whatever. But I don't think that they got to necessarily double nobody.
I got a couple of questions. Do you think Kristaps Porzingis brings anything to the table?
Nothing that I would say gives you the advantage. Like to
Okay,
me, no, I'm not. It is weird. I'm not the biggest Porzingis fan. I
I'm not
think
either, but he
personally,
fits well with Boston though. He has looked very good with Boston.
he has. I mean, he has with them.
Yeah,
But
because
this is
he's
this.
open. You would think because they're not doubling you. They're gonna either double Jalen Brown or they're gonna double Tatum. So you got wide open looks and you're knocking
See,
them down.
he should be because you know what it is. I think that maybe you're right because he's to me the fourth best player on their team, right? The fourth best player, and he's a good four option. But I think that the problem is right is I think that you think that would be the case though, but he takes a lot of shots away from the paint to me though, bro. And I don't, I'm not the biggest fan of your center taking the threes like that, but I understand why because it kind of gives him their version of the Bucks, right? Where you kind of have this big lineup that you can toss out there. I just think that if they played against the Timberwolves, right, I think that he just becomes a moot point because then I think if anything, you can put Rudy Gobert on him straight up, right? You can put I like Nas Reed over him, right? So that's when I look. I think that you can put Jaden Daniels on Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown straight up. I think you can put Ant Man on them straight up. So that's what I'm saying. Now, if they play against the Mavs, I think that they're gonna wash the Mavs. I think that they'll beat the Mavs in 6, maybe 5. But I think that Minnesota can win, though, bro. Can beat them.
Yeah. I was just about that was my next question. Is it a foregone conclusion that it's Minnesota to you? That is that you think they gonna
Ah, I used to have the theory that anybody who wins Game 3 for some reason is a team that I would say is going to win. But then the Wolves won the first 2 games and then lost 3 straight games, right? So I don't know, man. Like I kind of gotta feel. I gotta see how the first game looks and then what the second game, the adjustments look like, though, man. So I don't know.
yeah,
But I
because
think if you get down
The
2-0 in either of these, it's gone. It's a
the
wrap.
the Mavs typically lose the first game and then make adjustments.
Yeah.